Yuji has RCT, Yuta is about to throw hands with Sukuna. Sukuna is also fucking schizo, apparently. This chapter has a lot of stuff for us to get through. You have to get through that like and subscribe button, but this chapter opens up with Yuji actually missing his shot here, with Sukuna just slipping past Yuji and ending up behind him. But as this happens, the executioner sword from Higuruma actually dissipates here, which, let's be real, we kind of all knew that this was going to happen. Gege likes to hit us with these cliffhangers that often fizzle out, and maybe one day he'll catch us off guard with a cliffhanger that actually will end up being a real thing and will pay out in the next chapter. But it is also worth knowing that Higuruma's sacrifice wasn't in complete and utter vain here, because just after Yuji's attack misses, Sukuna beats him down and away and kicks him away. But Sukuna also notes that the Kamotoki has been completely confiscated, with even after Higuruma's death now, which I think calls back to his conversation with Kusakabe, with Higuruma asking how a case grows stronger even after death, which I guess Higuruma's always intended to die against Sukuna, and he always intended to take something away. He always intended to make his sacrifice worth it. But I guess it's nice that Sukuna's tool was taken, meaning it seems as if Sukuna only has access to one case technique right now, which is obviously cleave and dismantle. I have a theory that he still doesn't have access to his domain yet, or maybe even have enough case energy to activate it. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll spin back around to this later. There's also that mysterious black box to worry about, which, you know, we may see. I'm not sure. But Kirara and Wiwi end up here on the battlefield here to take away Higuruma's body, basically. And Sukuna theorizes that they are more than likely the ones that took away Gojo's corpse also, with Sukuna confirming that even using RCT on somebody else is less than half the efficacy as opposed to using it on yourself. Now, I just know there's a lot of people seeing this information and will instantly think about Gojo's revival. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do, one, add some more copium into the equation, and then two, drown it out completely, because I've seen people talking about Utahime possibly boosting Shogo's RCT to enable healing for both Higuruma and Gojo. However, I don't see it happening personally, with Sukuna confirming that Shogo's RCT has less than half the efficacy on someone else in comparison to healing herself. It makes me doubt that even with a boost from Utahime, she'd be able to heal Gojo or revive Gojo. And then second of all, we've never ever seen anyone in the series bring someone back to life with RCT. Only Gojo has done it to himself, and yeah, before anyone says it, yes, technically Megumi was dead, but he was already in a state of suspended death while the Mahoraga was around, and Sukuna confirmed this himself. He then healed Megumi's wound slightly. Again, further on to add on to this point, Shogo wasn't even able to repair Angel's arm, which I think is a nice little tie-up here from Gege, because a lot of people have questioned why Shogo couldn't just heal Angel's arm. Why was Angel not able to battle? Why couldn't Yuji get his ear or his pinky healed? So I think it's nice that Gege is starting to finally tie up those loose ends and kind of explain that RCT isn't just this be-all, end-all, get-out-of-jail card. It's great for yourself, but it has limited uses. It does have drawbacks. However, we do finally get the reveal that Yuji has also gained himself reverse case technique, and he was able to heal those wounds that were given to him by Sukuna. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how this feels kind of like an ass pull, comes out of nowhere. But as I said on Twitter, I'm on Twitter, by the way, you should definitely follow me there. But Yuji is the same dude that has shown us time and time again how powerful and how much he excels in cased energy manipulation. He learned how to hit a black flash just after Todo explaining it just once, and then he learned how to control the lag on his cased energy when he was fighting Mahito. And we've just never ever had the time to sit down with Yuji and have serious training, and everything Yuji has learned has pretty much came off the back of actual fights and life-changing circumstances, which obviously is not good. So if we gave Yuji a month, say perhaps, of actual training time with actual people, real sorcerers, who knows how much he could grow. But even Sukuna also recognizes that Yuji has improved, but also Sukuna starts to get irritated, and we find Sukuna having this weird inner monologue with himself. Now, maybe it's just me, but Sukuna in this particular panel and a couple of panels after it seems as if he's having a conversation with someone else, like another version of himself, maybe? He talks about the thought of needing someone else to fulfill him has never even crossed his mind, which he replies exactly, and it's as if he's talking to someone else in his mind here. There's also these other panels of Sukuna where Sukuna has been drawn by Gege a very interesting way. This first panel shows Sukuna's face and then a negative version of himself within the middle, and also these other two panels showing Yuji and Sukuna Sukuna next to each other and parallel each other. This could be a possible hint to that age-old Sukuna theory of him having a twin and Yuji even being that twin, and it's kind of interesting couple of panels to see how they're drawn, and I like how Gege has put it together, and it's possibly alluding to this, and I'm not the only person that's picked up on this. It was kind of strange to see him sort of almost conversing with himself and reaffirming his own beliefs here. However, Sukuna goes on to figure that the reason he's actually annoyed is actually to do with Yuji. Yuji sticking to his ideals with such absolute resolve makes Sukuna severely displeased, and Sukuna recognized that no matter how many times he breaks Yuji, his soul will always come back. And him even going on to say how his capabilities were simply too great. Sukuna wasn't bound by ideals, and in fact, he loathed people that had ideals. That's the sort of human he was. Now, that is a super interesting choice of words by Gege here, or even Sukuna, should I say, because he says the human I was. And again, we still don't have any sort of confirmation of just how Sukuna got to this form, how he got to this four-armed freak of nature that we see before us now. All we know is that he was a human, and then somewhere along the line, he took on this four-armed form. So it's some food for thought here. It's interesting to say that was the human that I was. So maybe he is a curse now? I'm not sure. Interesting take to find out. But this chapter takes an incredibly wild fucking turn here. For the worse, by the way, for the worse. With a white star appearing in the sky here, which seems to be the Kogane of Sukuna potentially here, who appears as Sukuna announces that Sukuna has decided to take Yuji's ideals and mince them to bits. Just truly a fucking cold line, by the way. And it's announced that a rule has now been added by Megami Fushiguro. Our authority to begin the great merger between Tengen and humanity has now been transferred to Megami Fushiguro. And it looks as if Kogane sort of rolls up into a ball here and Sukuna eats it. Again, I have zero idea why he did this. However, I do have a theory that it is possibly, this may be the case spirit manipulation technique from Kenjaku. However, that topic is another topic that I will dive into from another video here. I have something cooking for that one. However, after eating this orb, Sukuna declares he will kill Yuji first, and then after that, he will kill the remaining Culling Game players, and then have some fun with the new Tengen. And this brother Sukuna, after fighting Gojo and fighting everyone else, thinks he's then gonna fight whatever the fuck this merger is and turns out to be. After all of that, I'm not entirely convinced that he's got to be running on fumes. He's got to be running on like a lowercase energy value here, surely. Like I don't understand it. But what I do know is that Yuta fucking Okkotsu has arrived to the battlefield, and as he lands, he eviscerates the entire area, with him apologizing that he's late. However, it is interesting that the original plan for Okkotsu here was to go straight back to the school, to the group, after dealing with Kenjaku apparently here. But Yuta and Sukuna immediately clash, and it looks as if Yuta actually deflects a slash from Sukuna here. And one of the reasons that I do think this is because we see Sukuna rushing at Yuta, and then as they clash, we see Sukuna's arms underneath looking as if they've made, or hand signal, should I say, and also we see Sukuna using the finger gun type thing that we see him use against Higuruma, and we've seen him use multiple times against Gojo and everyone else. I also think that if this is actually a slash from Sukuna, it's highly possible that Yuta can now copy this, especially with Sukuna's hand still floating around. However, this exchange, it does not stop here. Rika actually appears and smacks Sukuna into the fucking ground, with Sukuna having to use all 4 of his fucking arms to stop / block this attack from Rika, once again showing us just how fucking strong Rika actually is, and Sukuna smiling ear to fucking ear while greeting Rika and saying, "You must be the queen," with Rika asking Sukuna just who the hell he thinks he's speaking to. Truly a absolutely incredible chapter, a generational chapter, if I may say. It has genuinely gave us a lot of information, and a Yuta vs Sukuna fight is genuinely not something I had in mind. I literally said in this video a couple of days ago, I don't see Yuta joining this battle. I could see something happening with Kenjaku that sort of delays Yuta's arrival here. Yeah, we were given a lot of information to digest and get through within this chapter here. However, we are sadly on a break next week, which is sad, but anyway, it is what it is. We've just got to deal with it. More lobotomy Kaisen smile. But anyway, that's everything from me. As always, I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Let me know what you thought of this chapter in the comments down below, and if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Much love, big fucking kisses,